see. Okay, I'm not up yet. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am, guys, if you know me by now, I'm trying to find where this video is so that I can share it. Why am I the one that always am searching for this video? And I'm going to share it to more options. Y'all know how we do. I'm giving you a few minutes to get in here. How's everybody doing? How was your Valentine's Day? How is everything going? Hi, everything good? Did you celebrate yourself if you're not married? Did you celebrate yourself? Did you do something special for yourself? We got to remember that we have to do stuff special for ourselves sometimes, just so that we know that we're taken care of and that we can take care of ourselves if the need arises. So I'm just getting everything together. I'm going to sit back now and we're going to get through this. Yes. Today we're talking about, people not liking us, ignoring us. Blah. Happy belated Valentine's Day. But today we're talking about what to do, how to process this stuff, and how we can get over. Come on, this is about life hacks. This is about having the right information to make your life the best you can have. Let me just introduce myself. I am Sharonda Lynn. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Ask Sharonda Lynn, and YouTube, by the way. I am a businesswoman and a pastor. I help people see the glass ceiling and break through. I help the people who see it and are determined to break through. I help the people that are determined to break the status quo. That is who I am. Please feel free to follow me. And when you get in here, please like, share, and, invite other people, tag some people in this. This is going to be a good thing today. We're coming out of Jeremiah 29:11, but it's funny, this topic, when God deposited this topic, he just told me, it's something that we all go through, that we all process through, whether people like us or not, whether people ignore us or not, whether people care about who we are, what we do, how we do our thing. It is all about caring. Let me see. Whether people care, whether they don't care, and whether we should care about it. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We've all been there. We've had an idea that we felt like was going to change the world. You have been given a ministry assignment that you felt like was going to shift the mind of everyone around you. You have dynamic doors opening. You have all kinds of things happening around you that were previously shut. There are wonderful things on the horizon for you. Blessings upon blessings upon blessings are about to overtake you. You're excited, right? We're excited. We're hopeful and we're full of energy. And when you're like that, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to share it with somebody. You want to share it. You want to say, where are my woes at? And that's women of excellence for us. In my family, I have a small group of cousins that we're always around each other for whatever reason. And we call each other woes, WOE, women of excellence. We call each other woes. And so I'll be like, where are my woes at? Where are my family or my friends at? Where are the people that are in my circle when I'm super excited and hopeful and ready for some things to happen in my life? And I have these ideas, I have these opportunities, and I just want to share it with somebody. Guys, I got a piece of hair in my eye, and I ain't going to fake the front. I am real about this thing. Woo! I had to get that out my face. But listen, you've been there. You've had ideas, you've had some things transpire, and you've been excited about it. Have you, you've been so excited about it that it's been bubbling over. You just want to get it out. You don't even think about it. You just want to go tell it, and you want to tell it everywhere I go. That's the church. That's the church coming out of me. But you want to do it. That's the first thing we want to do. We want to be validated. We want somebody to hear us, somebody to support us, somebody to cheer us on. Then you finally connect, right? You connect with your someone, your inner circle, your person, your go-to people, your besties. You connect with them, and that's the person that you have always connected with, right? You want them to cheer for you. You want them to hear you out. You want them to be just as excited as you are. And if they're not, you want them to pretend. I pretend, just pretend, even if you're not. I just need that boost sometimes. But you go, you say, yes, I'm going to call them up. I'm going to connect with them. And you spill the beans. I mean, you tell them everything, every idea that came to you, everything that transpired. You tell them how it's going to go. You tell them how it's going to take place, where the need is going to be at. You tell them how it's going to benefit people and things around you. You tell them everything. You tell them everything, because that's what we do. We want our besties, our woes, our BFFs. We want all of them, our homies. We want them all to connect with us. And we're excited because we're excited. We want them to be excited. And their response is like, nah. And you're like taking it back. They're like, nah. They change the subject, or they roll their eyes, or they tell you they're in the middle of something and they'll get back to you. And it's just not the response that you were expecting. And all those feelings of hurt, of inadequacy, of doubt, of disbelief come billowing over. It's just like a blanket goes right on over you. A dark cloud descends. I'm telling you, I've been there. This is how I know, because I have been there. I've had these ideas. I've gone to people and expected one reaction and got a whole total nother. Back when I was a young lass, I was trying to get ahead. I was a pusher. I was what I consider a glass breaker. You told me no, I was destined to try to do it. If you told me it wasn't right for me, then I was destined to show you and make you see that it was. If you told me the job wasn't for me, then I was going to show you how I could do that job and then the next job. That was me. There was nothing like it. It was a rush for me, for you to tell me no, I couldn't do it. It was how I came up from a little girl. And sometimes when we go through and we want to teach and train, it brings back all the feelings of what you used to do. But there was nothing like having a special person when I had that dream, when I had that vision, when that purpose came to me that I wanted to share it with. We want to share our special moments with our special people, and to have it thrown back in your face or not well received is horrifying, right? Your skin gets all prickly hot. You turn red as a beet. If you're light skinned like me, you turn really red, and with hurt and embarrassment. But I'm going to tell you what, my husband is chocolate. And when he gets embarrassed, he turns red. Y'all know I live to do embarrassing things. So I live to see that little red, that blush, that all that. But we turn red when people are coming against us. You were strong. You came to them with all this energy and excitement, and you were strong just moments before that. And now you're slumped over with doubt, with uncertainty. I can't tell you how many times I have watched eyes just roll up in their head because they didn't like what I was saying, or I heard their teeth suck. They were like, what this girl talking about now? Or they were like, oh, Sharonda. I mean, oh, Sharonda, it must be a new term in the dictionary because I've heard that all of my life. Oh, Sharonda. It's just Sharonda. You know, when you hear stuff like that, sometimes you take on that persona, and that's very, very dangerous to your purpose and what you are supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be average. You're supposed to be out there doing the work that you have been called to do, that was gifted to you, that shapes exactly who you are. And I remember telling someone that I wanted to create a product, right? And this product, I had a couple of them at the time, but I wanted to create a product. And this product was going to cover liquids in office settings. It would have been great for right now. It was going to cover liquids in office settings. And I went to this person and I was excited sometimes. And I don't know if you're like this, or if you're used to being this, being part of receiving for you. But sometimes people just want to dump. They don't want you to respond. They don't want you to say anything. They just want to get it out. I had to do that last week. I just had to get some things out. And I had to tell the person, and sometimes you have to preface this for some people. Oh man, I have to say this, but I don't need you to say anything. It depends on what type of friend you have or who you're talking to. You might not need them to say anything. You just want to hear it for yourself. But you know what I heard when I gave them my great idea that was going to revolutionize how we carry liquid around the office? They were like, oh, Sharonda. The dictionary of the new word, the new phrase in the dictionary is oh, Sharonda. That's just Sharonda. So it was oh, Sharonda. And then it doesn't stop there. When we go to these people, it doesn't stop there. There was a litany they went through of what I couldn't do, what I shouldn't do, why I needed to stay focused on trying to be better right where I am, because I can't look ahead if right here is not exactly right. And how am I scattered and how I'm scattered and not able to move forward because I do too much. Come on, I know some of you have heard that, right? You do too much. You are too busy. You got so much going on. You can't be looking ahead. You got to focus on right here. And those are the people that stay right where they are. You don't have to have things perfect to move forward. But when you're talking to people about your dreams, about your vision, about your purpose, or how you want to move, you have to be very careful about who you have access to that, right? So when this happened, and when I was telling her my great idea, and she came back and she said all of this other stuff, I recoiled. I was like, oh, like you could just feel. My bestie always says we feel hugs from heaven, and we feel brighter and we feel better about ourselves. But this wasn't no hug from heaven. And so I recoiled. I felt dark. I didn't feel better about myself. I felt hurt. I wanted to take back all of that zeal. I was wondering if I had made a mistake. They rained on my parade, and it wasn't the first time. It wasn't the first time that they rained on my parade. They didn't care about what I felt. They didn't care about where I felt I could go with this. They just rained on my parade. Not everyone is going to be on board with you when you get that $1 million idea that's going to revolutionize the world. We want them, right? Because they're close to us. They could be our best friends, our best cousins, our best sisters, our best uncles, our best aunts, our best moms. We only have really one mom, but our moms, our dads, they could be anybody. They could be anybody, but they could be the wrong person for you to go to, and that's okay. That's okay. Let them go. Let them let them go. I always say mark people. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but we have to sometimes compartmentalize who people are in our life. We've got to put them in their space in our life. not to change them, but to allow them to be who they can be. That is not going to stunt our growth. That's not going to cut us at our feet, our legs, our knees. It's not going to drop us down. We have to stop going to them. Once we mark them and we know that they are detrimental to our growth, we have to stop going to them for motivation. We have to stop going to them for encouragement. Let's take the bull by the horns and take control of what people have access to. Not everybody can have access to you. Not everybody is going to uplift you. You've got to start making the conscious decision to only allow those in your sphere that's going to celebrate you, not kill you. I kept going back to that same person over and over and over again until I figured out that some of the biggest things I wanted to share, some of the biggest ideas, some of the momentum that I had for different ideas was cut short by their pessimism for me. I had to acknowledge that. I had to say, wow, this is what's really going on. I stopped doing this because they said this. I stopped doing this and I was growing in it. I needed a push. I needed a hug from heaven from them, and they were unable to give that to me. They were unable. It took me a while to figure this out, but that person who was absolutely fantastic, they were a fantastic individual. I don't want you to think that because somebody disagrees with you, they don't support your ideas, that they're bad people. They're not necessarily bad people. They're not in the space where they need to be for you, what you need from them. So you need to put them in their space. That person was not my motivational person to go to. It wasn't, they weren't that for me at that time. And I had to acknowledge that, and I had to stop going towards the same people that were chopping me down. You have to regulate people. That person I was talking to was regulated to a different part of my life. It didn't mean that I stopped talking to them. It didn't mean that I stopped celebrating them. It didn't mean that sometimes they didn't celebrate me. But what it did mean was that I had to put them in a place that was not detrimental to me, to my growth, to my advancement. I'm sorry. I just heard something. I thought I got animals around here and everything. They dropping down and jumping all around while I do this. So listen, you have to regulate people. You have to regulate those people that don't care. You have to regulate those people that are negative, that hurt you on purpose, that steal your joy every time they come around, that drain you, that hate on your greatness, that hate on your prospects, that physically and mentally abuse you. Yes, some of it's pure abuse. You have the power to set the control points in motion for those people. You have the power. In Jeremiah 29:11, God said, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." God said, He said that He has plans of peace for you. That's a promise. Not strife, not somebody always tearing you down, not the evil part of somebody not wanting to see you get ahead the way you need to get ahead. Because sometimes people react to you because they don't understand how you need to go forward. They only understand from their perspective. That's why I said all people aren't bad, but you do have to regulate them to their perspective spot. God will give you, he said in Jeremiah, he said, God, he will give you a future to dream of. Well, if you have a future to dream of, many times that comes through ideas that you have, suggestions that you might have. It comes through visions that are given to you. You see yourself speaking. You want to be a motivational speaker. I know that's what I wanted to be. growing up, and I still want to be that. I want to speak on stages. I want to be able to cast the vision that God gave me. I want to help people that are glass breakers, that don't stop. I do. So I got to be careful who I share that vision with, because other people will try to tie me to the past. Other people will try to remind me where I came from. You got to be careful. You got to be careful when God gives you these dreams, or when dreams are presented to you, that you regulate who you give that to. You have to be very careful of who you let have access to all of that. All of it. So now, how can we cut through and shift to regulate people to their new spaces in our lives? This is a hack. How do we? Somebody can ask me, Sharonda, how do you do it? I'm gonna tell you how I do it. Number one, I don't accept any forms of abuse, nor do I seek it out. Let me explain what I mean by seeking out abuse, because I know some of you are looking at me and they're saying, oh my gosh, what the heck is she talking about? Who seeks out abuse? People that are used to abuse seeks out abuse. That's why the abuser, the person that's abused, they'll turn around and become the abuser, because they're used to it. It's a comfort to them. They don't know anything else. So how else are they going to act? How else are they going to act? So you got to be careful that you're not under anybody that's abusive, that's narcissistic. The last relationship, my former husband, I sought out people who didn't like me because I wanted to prove that I was likable. I sought out people who told me specifically that I couldn't be there, that I had to sit in a certain place, because I was determined to prove to them that that wasn't what was going to happen to me. And I lost time doing that. I'm trying to help you. Don't lose time in seeking out bad situations. And I'm not saying that's all the time, but for some of you, it is. If I'm talking about it, for some of you, you are seeking out what you know. And you've got to let that go too. Don't accept abuse from anyone, even yourself. Even yourself. Judge whether people are doing it purposefully, whether they just don't know how to handle you. Remember, not all people are bad, but maybe they just don't know how to handle where you at. Number two, work on your relationships. Work on other relationships. If you have been going to these people constantly again and again and again, and they've been shooting you down, and you can't, constructive criticism is one thing. But if a person is constantly shooting you down and they don't have anything positive to pour into you, you need to check that. You need to stop working on that relationship and wondering why that's going that way, and pour yourself into positive relationships. Last time, I think it was last week or the week before, we talked about finding meetups. We talked about going to other places and getting into other spaces where you can be exposed to different kind of people. If you can't find people in church, go to a church function. If you can't find people in your area and your shelter, go find a meetup. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about your relationships. I know it's a lot of work, but it pays off in the end. We are only, they always say we are only as good as the 5 people around us. It's probably 3 people now, but we're only as good as the people that we connect to. Who are you connecting to? Ask God. Number 3 is ask God to direct you to the people that you can share with. Ask God to direct you to the people that are safe spaces. Listen, I wasn't always this person. I promise you, I wasn't always this person. People knew that I would keep their stuff, but I was very abrasive, and I wasn't always a safe place to share. Now I consider myself a very safe place to share, because God exposed it, God healed it, and he brought me right where I am today. So make sure you connect with safe spaces. People that's not going to tell your business. People that's going to be real with you. And though you have this exciting idea that they are excited for you, but they may want to tell you what they see. but they're not going to cut you down and chop you so that you don't have anything to look forward to. And last thing I want to say is get a journal and write it down. Get a journal and write it down. Really. When you have ideas, when you have things that you know that's God given and you don't write it down, there's a possibility of you losing that idea. Or sometimes God not only gives you the idea, but he gives you the details. He gives you how to walk that thing out, right? I guarantee you, if you don't write it down, you're going to forget a detail. And it could be a very important detail. As a matter of fact, anything God tells you is important. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. So I just gave you a bunch of different little hacks that will help you separate, help you identify, and help you deal with anybody who doesn't care about you, who you feel doesn't care about you, who you feel and I'm coming from our perspective, who we feel that might not care about us, who might not, be very supportive of us or motivate us. But now that I came with a hack, I got to come with an app. So what's the app I have for you this week? The app I have for you this week that will tie into everything we're doing, the app is called Daybreak. The app is called, it's a Daybreak. Oh my gosh, it's Daybook. I'm getting a little too excited, but it's called Daybook. Daybook is the very best journal app out there right now. It's one of the very best. There's so many things that you can do with Daybook. It is for iOS, it's for Android. So I like apps that play fair. I ain't going to talk about no Clubhouse right now. And that in order for me to get on it, I got to go to iOS. I am not an Apple girl. I'm just not. I don't like nobody put me in a structure. But this wonderful app, you can do Android, you can do iOS. Listen, you don't even have to sit there and type everything out. It has a voice recorder that will type it out for you. Come on, somebody say amen. Especially for those of you who need glasses, and I'm one of those of you. Especially for those of us that need glasses, we need a voice recorder sometimes. Then you can use it for business. You can use it for personal reasons. You can, if you travel, you can use it as a travel journal. Whatever it is something that you can write down your best stuff. And then you can go back over it. You can pray over it. That's why I really would love for you to get into the habit of writing things down. When I learned that I had to write things down, it stuck better. And when I write things down, I remember different parts of it that I probably would not have remembered if I didn't. And then I'm able to go back and put the word of God over it. Put the word of God over it so that it comes to fruition if God gave it to me. So listen, that's what I have for you today. I'm super, super excited that you took the time to sit down with me and talk with me and listen to me today. And I want you to make sure you like, share, subscribe to She Is Still Dope TV. Please share this with somebody. Let them know that She Is Still Dope TV is out there waiting to meet your needs for business, for personal. We have a host of different programming from health to mental health to physical health to yoga to all kinds of stuff. People are out here for you on She Is Still Dope TV. Okay, so listen, make sure you download Daybook. And remember to check your circle, pray over your circle, allow God to minister to your circle. So even if they are not ready right now to be that person that shows you love and shows you care and motivates you, they can always be that person in the future. But they can't be it if you get mad and you cut them off. Like, we're not supposed to cut people off as quick as the way we cut people off. We're not. How can you be a light? Now, this is a pet peeve, but how can we be a light in dark places if we cut people off instantly? No, compartmentalize them, put them in their place, and you know who they are, but you don't have to be buddy buddy with them. But we have to be light in dark places, and that's not always comfortable, and that does not always look a way that we feel it should look. All right. So listen, I hope this blessed you. Again, like, share, subscribe. We look forward to talking with you on the next program. And make sure you meet me next Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another life hack and app moment with Sharonda Lynn. Again, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I am here for this. All right. So take care. Make sure you go forward today and go forward the next day. Make sure you smile. And if you meet someone who's not smiling, make sure you're prepared to give them one of yours. All right. Take care. Have an amazing day.